It's just absolutely wonderful to be in Albany. I love coming back to Albany, and I don't get to come back often enough. Spent a lot of hours in this great complex and getting lost and all of that. The Schuyler Center, absolutely wonderful. We know what our goals are. Our goals are good jobs, jobs that result in an income that people can live on, strong and healthy communities, excellent education and opportunities for our children, and a decent safety net for people who need support. But the heart of it really is how our economy operates and what we do to get people good jobs, and we really should not ever forget that. Sometimes we tend to get enmeshed in talking as though the public benefits and so on are the only thing. They're extremely important. But the heart of it really is what happens in our private economy that gets us the jobs, and also investing in government for the things that we need government to do that do create jobs. If we're going to have a decent system of child care, early child development in our country, we need public funding. The jobs may be and should be very heavily in the nonprofit sector, but we won't get the money to do that if it isn't public money. That one of the things we have to remember and say over and over again is that the investment we have made with public money in benefits and supports for people is paying off. It's successful. We have successful public policy. Government makes a difference. 40 more million people would be in poverty right now if we didn't have, and that's on top of the 46 million we have, if we didn't have Social Security, food stamps, the Earned Income Tax Credit, public housing, housing vouchers, and on. Obviously, we have to do the job of educating our children, investing in our children for the economy of the 21st century, to have the skills that we need. Obviously, we need that. But they're growing up into a world, and it's an enormous challenge, where the jobs that built the middle class in our country, the unionized jobs that didn't require a high school diploma, that really built the heart of the way we've been able to function since World War II, disappeared. And we've been living with that ever since. We have 20 million people who are in deep poverty, who have incomes below half the poverty line. Now, we calculate poverty in a sort of a cockeyed way, you all know, so if you actually add in the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit and food stamps, turns out it's about 15 million. We have this new fancy poverty measure, some of you know. It turns out to be about 15 million. 15 million with incomes below half the poverty line? Oh my goodness. It was 3% of the American people, 3.3 in 1976. It's twice that now. It's 6.7%. So, and we have 6 million people, actually 6.5 by the latest numbers, whose only income is from food stamps. Stop on that one for a minute. So the challenge of concentrated poverty and related to that, the challenge of education, we have to get across the idea that not only do we have to make our public schools successful for every child, but we need to be paying attention to poverty at the same time. You can't solve one without the other. You have to be able to keep two thoughts in your mind. Race and gender are pervasive here. I've talked about the gender part in terms of both the level of poverty of kids in single mom households, but we all know this. Poverty, African American, Latino, Native American, all about 27%, white non-Hispanic about 10%. Number speaks for itself. The numbers speak for themselves. But it's also true that these questions of race and gender, particularly race, are the political football. It's now on us to do what we have to do. We have to do the both and of public and private. We have to be in the politics. I don't think I need to say that in this room. Not just in the electoral, but all year long on the issues. We need to not only talk about poverty as a moral issue. National security was mentioned earlier. I think that's important. The self-interest of the amount of money that we're losing in our country by having so many poor people. We have research, we have analysis that shows that $600 billion a year is going down the tubes because of unemployment, because of poor health, because of incarceration. All the things that are the costs of having so many people who are discarded. We can't have such disparities between the top and the bottom and remain the democracy that we aspire to be. It has to change. But we're the ones who have to change it. Robert Kennedy's not coming back. Paul Wellstone's not coming back. It's on us. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel was Dr. King's friend. Great man. Wrote many books. But one thing he said, I can tell you in less than 2 seconds. He said, we're not all guilty, but we are all responsible. Thanks for the chance to speak with you today.